Hello and welcome to Dish with Dash. I'm Dash, and today I will be doing a review of Tears of the Kingdom. Now, I know in my last video you saw that I was on part 5 of my playthrough, but since then I have beaten the game. This is my second playthrough of the game, and I'd just like to give a quick review. Oh, well, maybe not a quick review, but just a review overall of the game. So, let's start off with what I think of the story in this game. Also, by the way, you're just going to see some gameplay in the background of this review. So, the story... Oh, I also should state that there will be spoilers in this review. So, yeah, get ready for that. But yeah, this is a spoiler review. So, anyway, in this game, it has a story. That's something. And to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the story. Now, I'm not sure if this is a unpopular opinion to have, but I think the story had a lot more potential than what we actually got out of it. So, I think it starts off really interesting with you going into the kind of underground castle area, discovering Ganondorf. The issue, I feel like, arises when we see Zelda just go back in time. Now, I get that it's like a loop, which is why it's like an Ouroboros symbol on the game. But I'm not a huge fan of like the time travel stuff. I don't know if people would agree with that statement, but yeah, I think I don't know, it gets a bit messy sometimes. But anyway, so they go back in time. And, you see the king, queen, they're all surprised and whatnot. So yeah, that's fine. I like some of the stuff with Ganondorf. I think seeing, like, Ganondorf before he's, like, a skeleton is really cool. And I guess you do see him at the end of the game also, when he transforms into the Demon King. But I'm not the biggest fan of, like, some of the choices in the back in time, like, area. Specifically with the sages, I think the sages could have been a lot more interesting. For one, you never see their faces, which I just think is a bit strange. Like, they just never show them. Like, I can see if you don't show them in, like, the memories, but, like, when the new sages are unlocking their, I guess they're getting their secret stone, you would think they might show their face, so I just think it's a bit weird. I also think it's a bit strange how this game just gets rid of all the Sheikah stuff. Cause I don't know. It's just a bit strange. They don't really explain it. It's believed to just be like destroyed, I guess, but I don't know. I would have liked a bit more of an explanation there. But yeah. What else is there? Oh yeah. So this game, its story overall, I think it's fine. Like, I don't think it's insanely good. Like, to be honest, I might have liked Breath of the Wild's story just a bit more because of, you get to see a bit more character, right? Like, you get to see that relationship between Link and Zelda. You don't see that really in this game, which I think was a bit of a strange choice because of the, like, it should be a bit of a stronger relationship in this game, right? Because it has been a while since Breath of the Wild has, like, ended in this game. But they don't really talk about the Calamity. I know they talk about it, like, a bit in some of the, I think, Zelda's Diary. Which I guess is fine, but I don't know. I would have just liked a bit more there. Also, I'm going to talk about the Zonai now. The Zonai in this game could have been a lot cooler, I think. My main problem with them is I'm not a huge fan of how there's only 2 of them in this game. So, like, think about it, right? They only show Rauru and his sister. And I was hoping to see, like, a bit more of the Zonai in this game. Like, all they say is that it's been, like, all of the Zonai are dead except for Rauru and his sister. So I think Yeah, that could have been a lot better. So it's a bit of a shame that we didn't get to see more of the Zonai, because there's just so much history there that is just not very well explained, and I would have loved to see more of that in this game. But sadly, we did not see that in this game. But besides that, also in the story, I think the ending, it was fine, in my opinion. I do think that there should have been a bit more of a relationship built up between Link and Zelda, because it's just, yeah, I don't know, it just, you don't, like, feel anything at the end, I guess. I mean, it's fine, like, but when your main characters don't interact for, I don't know, like 90% of the game, it's just, it kind of leaves you a bit empty, I feel like. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion, but maybe that's just me. So yeah, I think the ending's fine. I like the dragonification thing, that's cool. But yeah, I don't know, story's fine. I might like Breath of the Wild more. But on the very positive side, the gameplay. Oh, let's talk gameplay. So, the gameplay in this game is amazing. It's so good. Much better than Breath of the Wild for so many reasons. So yeah, let's get into that. So, the first thing I would like to talk about is the abilities, the new abilities in this game. So, we have Ultra Hand, Ascend, Recall, Fuse, and well, I guess you have Camera, but also, give me a second here. What? Oh yeah, Auto Build. Auto Build's the final one. So those abilities are great. I think they add a lot to this game and make it very unique from Breath of the Wild. But yeah, those are great. But besides that, they add to the gameplay in interesting ways. So there are a lot more caves in this game. So it's just makes sense to have Ascend, right? Because you can just use it to get out of there. It's also like way more useful than like Cryonis in Breath of the Wild. So I'm very happy. I feel like Ascend kind of replaces Cryonis in this game. Just simply because it's like a movement-based ability. Like you're meant to use Cryonis to get across like not oceans, I guess, but like rivers and lakes and stuff. So that's great to see that they have a replacement for that ability. But also, I would call the replacement for Bomb in this game Fuse. And I think Fuse is interesting how they handled it. So what they did, I feel like, is they kind of nerfed every other weapon in this game. Like, in Breath of the Wild, most of the weapons were much stronger. Like, I believe the Royal Guard's Claymore's like damage was cut by more than half, I think. So it's interesting to see how they handle that. They also added certain buffs and like abilities to certain weapons. Like, for example, the Royal Guard's Claymore. When it's about to break, it does twice the amount of damage, so that's cool. So I think it balances out well with Fuse. I think they handled it in probably the best way they could have. So yeah, it's nothing like... Okay, in terms of like a technical standpoint, it's pretty amazing. But in terms of gameplay, it's good. Don't get me wrong. I like the ability. But it like balances out. Like, you're not going to make anything too crazy normally, just because of how they balance the game. So, let's talk Recall. I would say Recall is probably my least used ability in this game. I don't know if that goes for everyone. But in my opinion, Recall is a fine ability. I like the way you can use it in puzzles, but besides that, you can't really use it too much, which is kind of annoying to me. Like, I wish you could use it on enemies in a fight and they would like go backwards in time. I think that would be pretty fun. But besides that, Recall's very good for puzzles, I think. So overall, solid ability. And then we have our final ability, the greatest ability in this game, Ultra Hand. Ultra Hand is just insane from both a technical standpoint and a just I don't know, a cool factor. You can do whatever you want with it, and that just allows for so much creativity. The amount of vehicles you can create with it is just amazing, and you can use it for puzzles. It's great for that. There's so many interesting ways. Oh, I should have talked about this with Fuse also, but Fuse, it's kind of similar to Ultra Hand in a sense that you can kind of cheat a few things with it. Like, I do remember there was this shrine where, well, I can do this in a bunch of shrines, but there was this one where I just like attached rockets to it, and you just like, you can basically cheat through the whole thing. And so yeah, that's cool. I do like the amount of creativity this game gives you. It makes it very unique to most games I've played. And I do enjoy that, just that kind of Breath of the Wild style of gameplay. Like, before this game, Breath of the Wild was definitely my favorite game ever. I just think just everything to it was amazing. Like, the exploration, the stuff you can mess around with. I know this wasn't intended, but the glitches in the game are really fun to, like, mess around with. So I also enjoyed that. I know those might not have been intended for the game, but they were fun nonetheless. And also, in this game, there is auto-build. And auto-build is kind of like the camera of Tears of the Kingdom. In a sense that you don't maybe use it as much as the other abilities, but it's like there, it's cool, it's a kind of nice ability to have on the side. And auto-build, the animation for it is really cool, how it all comes together. So I do really like what they did there. But anyway, back on the topic of Ultra Hand. I think the ability, I don't know how they pulled it off, but it's an amazing ability, and I would love to see more games have this level of creativity to them, because I think that can add a lot to the game, not only in a gameplay standpoint, but also in the sense that the community can just have fun, and the game can still be talked about for years to come, just simply because you can do whatever you want in the game. So, huge props to Nintendo for adding this ability, and I think other games should do similar stuff like it. And what else about this game is great? Well, the map. The map has been expanded greatly, and yeah, it's huge. They added so there are sky islands, which don't take up like a huge portion of the map, but then there's the main section, that being the underground area. The underground is, I don't understand how they fit it all on one cartridge, or, well, I guess you could get the game digitally. I personally have it physically, but yeah, it's just amazing what the Switch can do. Sure, it might not be as powerful as other consoles, but I do say that the games might be better than what other consoles can offer, just simply because of, like, creativity, like I said before, and other aspects that just make the game that good, I guess. But anyway, yeah, so the map, it's amazing. So the sky area, it's fun. I don't think it's the most groundbreaking thing ever, and yeah, it's really cool though. I think it looks great. The visuals for the sky are amazing. There are a few certain resources up there, which makes it worth your while to go up there. So there definitely is a reason to go up there. There's also like 30-something shrines, if I remember correctly. But yeah, sky is good. It's cool. I like it. Basically, yeah, no complaints there. Yeah, so that's the Sky Islands, basically. Just fun to explore. There's not too many of them. I think that might be my one complaint. I would hope for just slightly more islands in the sky, but it's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that at all, because Nintendo still did a great job with the sky islands in this game, I think. So, now let's talk about the main exploration thing they added in this game. That being the underground. Now, the underground in this game is absolutely incredible. What they did with it is, it's just amazing. I think it's, I don't know, I'm speechless. So, it's a very difficult area compared to other areas in the game, and I think that makes it a very nice, important area. Like, it's not... Okay, I shouldn't say important, but it's an area you can go to for side content, and on top of that, it's kind of a late-game challenge area, which I like. Because, also, I should mention that this game is significantly harder than Breath of the Wild, at least in my opinion. With just harder bosses, like the Gleeoks. Gleeoks are a great boss. I think I like every new, like, mini-boss in this game. Also, the boss fights, after the dungeons are amazing also. But we'll get there when we get there. So, the underground. It has a resource called Zonite. I like how you have to get Zonite if you want to upgrade your batteries, so you can be more creative with your whatever you're making. So I think that was a great idea on Nintendo's part there. And also, the underground, it has much harder enemies, which I think offers a fun challenge. And I also like how there's certain resources you can basically only find there, like muddle buds. And I mean, you can find bomb flowers in caves, but there are a lot of bomb flowers in the depths. So I think that's great how they added that stuff there also. So yeah, the underground, great area. I love what they did with it. Just one minor complaint. After you get all the light roots in the game, I was hoping for a bit of a better reward. All you get is a key item. It's kind of like Hestu's gift, but even more useless. So, I don't know. That's probably my one complaint with that. But besides that, depths are an amazing addition to the game. And they should have been here in Breath of the Wild. That's just how good they are. So, I'm going to talk about dungeons right now. Now, the dungeons in this game are pretty good. I wouldn't say they're the best in the Zelda series. I wouldn't say they're the worst in the series. I'm going to rank them right now from probably like most to least favorite. So my favorite was probably the Rito dungeon. Very creative. I like the airship kind of design they went for. And I think getting to that location was a lot of fun. But besides that, second was probably the Fire Temple. The Fire Temple, very creative dungeon. I like how it's based around minecarts. I think that's a lot of fun. I'm not a huge fan of its design compared to the Wind Temple. I just thought it was a lot less creative in that sense. But, yeah, it's designed very well in terms of like the challenge, the puzzles in the Fire Temple. So yeah, great. It's great. Now, and then there's the Sand Temple. I think it's fine. My complaint with it is just the light. Like, I'm not a huge fan of the light mechanic. I wish it was more electricity based, like in the Breath of the Wild dungeon for the Gerudo. It was, oh, what was it? It was the camel. I forget which what its name was right now, but it was a good dungeon in that game, and I wish they still kept with the electricity aspect in the game. But besides that, it's pretty good. I like the aesthetic of it. I like the final boss at the end, that being the what's its name? The Gibdo Queen. I think that was it's a difficult boss, probably the hardest boss besides Ganondorf in the game. So yeah, very good. And then there was my least favorite dungeon, that being the Zora dungeon. I don't like it, just simply because I think its design is really like lame. It's just this like floating thing in the sky, and it doesn't have a lot of personality to it. Like even for Varuda in Breath of the Wild, at least it was like an elephant. Sure, it still had that Sheikah basic design, but I don't know. I thought it was. I just didn't like the design. Besides that, though, the puzzles were fine. It's just like an overall fine dungeon. Nothing like amazing. Nothing terrible. Just something kind of mid, I guess. But anyway, very good dungeons compared to Breath of the Wild. I think they were just better overall in this game. So I do hope if there is like another Zelda game, I don't know if if this would be Nintendo's last, because I don't know how they can top this. But I would hope for some more traditional dungeons in the future Zelda games. Yeah. Also, the dungeons are structured very similar to Breath of the Wild, where you have to get like 5 terminals or whatever, 4 terminals to unlock the big like gate, which then you fight a boss, and then yeah, you get a heart, and yeah, it's good dungeons, but not the best they could be. So yeah, there's that. I did like what they did with the towers in this game. Like they're not Sheikah towers, but they're Skyview towers in this game. I like how they're like kind of climbable. Like no, that's not the right word. You can launch from them in this game, and you couldn't do that in Breath of the Wild. So I think that's really cool how they add that. But then there's the shrines in this game. Now, do I like the shrines in this game? I think they're all right. They're not my favorite shrines. Well, okay, I guess there's only 2 Zelda games with shrines, but I think I did like Breath of the Wild shrines just a bit more. I feel like they use the abilities in the shrines just better overall. And yeah, I do wish they were used just slightly better. But I mean, they're still fine. I like the aesthetic of them, like the Zonai kind of aesthetic that they have. Yeah, so I mean, the shrines, they're not like crazy, like amazing or anything. They're still shrines. They just added like, what was it, like 32 more of them or something in this game? I mean, like, it's fine, right? It's nothing crazy. I think they're great. I don't know about great, but like, I don't know. They're just like fine overall. So yeah, I think they did a good job. I do think Breath of the Wilds were slightly, just a smidge better. But yeah, very good shrines, I guess, overall. Like, they're just, I don't know. Shrines are shrines, you know? They're just kind of generic. But let's talk about cooking in this game. Now, the cooking in this game has been greatly improved from Breath of the Wild. In this game, you can now, there's now recipes for the meals you cook. So I think that's kind of nice, because you get to remember the greatest foods you cooked, so that's good. And then I did like the UI change with food in this game, where you can actually see how many items you're holding. So I think that was a very good change overall. So let's talk just surface, the main level, the main map changes. Yeah, the main map changes in this game. So on the main map, there's a bunch of fallen like stuff from the sky. I think that's cool. I did like what they did to some of the areas. I do like how the castle's floating in this game. I think that's cool. I do like how there are a bunch of added like chasms. Yeah, that's the right word. To like dive into the depths. So that's cool. Some of the changes to the villages is it's good. Like, I like the quest at Laurelin Village, where you have to repair it after you clear up a monster attack. So good changes overall. Nothing like insane, but just like, I think it makes the map just slightly better. But something that makes this game amazing, in my opinion, is the amount of enemy variation. Now, if you thought Breath of the Wild had a lot of enemy variation, you ain't seen nothing yet, let me tell ya. Because in this game, you can do it all. Like, there's everything you can think of. So, sure, we have the, the generic electric fire stuff from the previous game. But on top of that, you can now find variants of them in the depths with gloom. And they also added new enemies that have what's the word? Like just new enemies that greatly increase the fun you can have in this game. So I personally think the enemy variation is much better. So just let me go down the list. They added Gibdos, so I think that's great. They added these big flying creatures. Those are fun. There are new boss fights. You can also refight those boss fights in the depths, so that's great. Gibdos also have variations like inside the Gibdos. So there's like, you can find winged Gibdos, and you can also find, I guess these aren't really a variation, but Gibdos that just like crawl on the ground and chase after you instead of just the regular walking ones. And there's also the new Zonai constructs. There are 4 different kinds of those, and then on top of that, there are the captain constructs. So that's cool. Also, on the topic of variations, you can now find different horns attached to different level monsters, which I think makes the game a lot more fun, because now basically every material in this game has a new use, which just makes this game amazing. You're always hunting for like more materials and stuff. It's just great because you want the best stuff. Like if you want those the Lionel horns, which are the strongest horns in the game, you have to like actually go fight Lionels and stuff. Like you actually have to get good materials in this game so you can level up your stuff. And I don't know, I think it's cool. So yeah, it's just a great addition. And then, so yeah, that's a great idea, I think, from Nintendo, that they added all these things. On the topic of Amiibo, I'm going to talk about Amiibos now. I think they handled them a little worse than Breath of the Wild. I wish they gave you just a little more rewards, but besides that, they're good. Nothing really to complain about. So yeah, great things, great changes overall. The combat in this game remains basically the same as Breath of the Wild. I mean, sure, you can like make different types of weapons and stuff, and your sage friends can help you out, but nothing like crazy to change. The engine, I guess they didn't change the engine in this game at all, because they are still using the same engine that they used in Breath of the Wild. So yeah, I really like this game. I think, is it better than Breath of the Wild though? That is the question. And I'm gonna say yes. I think it's better in just about every aspect except for the story and shrines. I think those are about the 2 advantages Breath of the Wild has over Tears of the Kingdom. But besides that, this game manages to push above the heights of Breath of the Wild, literally, because of the Sky Islands. And it allows you to just do whatever you want. What other game, besides like Minecraft or something, just allows you to have that much creativity? And I like this personally more than Minecraft, but I don't know if that's just me. So yeah, this game, it revolutionizes just Zelda. I don't think it's as revolutionary as Breath of the Wild. I think that just added so much to the medium of gaming. But yeah, besides that, Tears of the Kingdom, much better than Breath of the Wild in almost every way, and it deserves a 10 out of 10 from me. So thanks for watching. Make sure to stay tuned for my Pikmin 4 demo review coming up soon. And I hope to see you all in the next video. See you next time. Bye.